arms over the water. Soon now, we will meet them face to face. I am resolved in the midst and heat of the battle to live or die amongst you all!
The 8th of August 1588, the raging English Channel echoed with the roar of the wind, mixed with cannon smoke and the cries of thousands of men. Spain's invincible fleet, known as the Invincible Armada was burning in towering flames. The Spanish Empire before which all of Europe once trembled saw its 130 massive warships defeated by Britain's small fast-moving vessels. When King Philip II received this news while seated in Madrid's El Escorial Palace, he could not yet understand that this was not merely a defeat in battle. It was the silent beginning of the fall of one of history's most powerful empires. Yet only a few decades earlier, the picture had been completely different. It was said that the sun never set on the Spanish Empire. From the Amazon jungles of South America to Manila in the Philippines, vast portions of the world lay beneath its feet. Ship after ship carried tons of gold and silver from the mines of the Americas to Spanish ports. Unlimited resources in hand, the world's most powerful army, and a royal dynasty that claimed to be blessed by God. But the question is, despite so much wealth and power, why could Spain not sustain itself as a modern world superpower? How did endless gold and silver become a curse for its economy? Why did its massive army ultimately become the cause of its destruction? And how did poor leadership and religious fanaticism reduce a promising superpower to merely a former empire in the pages of history? In today's episode of Atmapanther, we will try to uncover the reasons behind Spain's glorious rise and tragic fall. The 2nd of January 1492, Granada, southern Spain. Breaking through the winter morning fog, a silver cross and the royal banner of Castile were slowly raised atop the highest minaret of the Alhambra Palace. The Torre de la Villa, below, thousands of Spanish soldiers erupted in thunderous cheers. An almost 800-year-long and bloody struggle known in history as the Reconquista finally came to its conclusion. The last Muslim Nasrid dynasty fell, and Granada's final Sultan Boabdel departed in tears from his beloved palace, handing over its keys to Spain's two powerful rulers, King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. This moment was not merely the story of a military victory. It was the foundation stone of Spain's rise. Ferdinand was the King of Aragon, and Isabella was the Queen of Castile. Their marriage in 1469 united Spain's two major kingdoms. With the conquest of Granada, they brought all of Spain under a single flag. The Pope granted them the title. The Catholic monarchs *** Los Reyes Catolicos. While Europe struggled to emerge from medieval darkness and plagues, Spain bubbled with confidence. A firm belief took root that God was on their side, and that their destiny was to rule the world. April 1492, Santa Fe, before the echoes of Granada's victory had faded, a stubborn Italian sailor appeared at the Queen's Court, Christopher Columbus. In his hands was a strange map, and in his mind an impossible dream. Columbus's proposal was simple yet risky. He claimed that by sailing west across the Atlantic Ocean, bypassing Ottoman-controlled eastern land routes, he could reach India, the land of spices and wealth. In Europe at the time, India or the Indies symbolized limitless riches. Pepper, cinnamon, and cloves were more valuable than gold. Columbus had taken this proposal to Portugal, England, and even Italian rulers, but all had dismissed him as a madman. Spain's royal treasury was nearly empty due to wars, and court advisors considered the expedition a waste of money. But Queen Isabella was farsighted. She believed that if this man succeeded, Spain might gain new trade routes and unimaginable wealth. It is said that Isabella even offered to pawn her personal jewelry to fund the voyage. On the 17th of April, the capitulations of Santa Fe were signed. Columbus was given 3 worn-out ships *Nina, Penta, and Santa Maria the 12th of October 1492. After 2 months of uncertain sea travel, Columbus landed in the Bahamas. He believed he had reached India and thus called the locals Indians. But in reality, he had discovered something far beyond Europe's imagination, a completely new continent, America. Columbus's discovery opened the door to unimaginable possibilities for Spain. A new era began, the Age of Discovery. 1519, the coast of Mexico. Following the path shown by Columbus, Spain sent forth groups of fortune-seeking warriors known as the conquistadors *. Among them was Hernancourt. With only 500 soldiers, 16 horses, and a few cannons, he challenged the vast Aztec Empire ruled by Emperor Montezuma. The Aztec capital Tenochtitlan, modern-day Mexico City, left the Spaniards stunned. This floating city in the middle of a lake was larger and more organized than Paris or London at the time. But Spanish steel swords, firearms, horses, and the smallpox they brought sealed the fate of the Aztecs. The civilization collapsed, and courts began sending shiploads of gold back to Spain. 1532, the Andes Mountains of Peru. While the Aztec Empire crumbled in the north, another conquistador, Francisco Pizarro, attacked the Inca Empire in the south. 1545, Bolivia. The Spanish discovered Cerro Rico the Rich Mountain, a mountain virtually made of silver. Potosi became one of the world's richest and most populous cities overnight. It is said that so much silver was taken from Potosi that a bridge could have been built across the Atlantic from America to Spain. Spanish galleons regularly arrived at the port of Seville, unloading tons of silver and gold. By the mid-16th century, 60 to 80% of the world's precious metals came from Spanish colonies. Spain became Europe's superpower, and the Spanish piece of 8 became the world international currency like today's US dollar. But Spain failed to understand that gold and silver are not true wealth, they are merely mediums of exchange. Easy access to precious metals made Spaniards work-averse. Farmers abandoned plows, artisans abandoned crafts, and everyone dreamed of instant riches in America. The seeds sown in 1492 had grown into a massive tree, but rot had begun at its roots.